In this lecture, we'll learn about prefabs. So what's a prefab? It is a prefabricated game object. In other words, it's a game object that we've configured the way we want, adding components and changing the transform position and rotation and all kinds of things to set up that game object the way we want it to be, and then we've saved it as a prefab. What are they good for? Well, within the editor, it makes it easy to add multiple instances of that configured game object to the scene without having to configure each of those instances. We've already done it in the prefab. And it also makes it so that we can dynamically add instances of that prefab as we run the game from a script. So in other words, spawning things. So we'll see the editor benefit in this lecture, and we'll see the spawning things benefit in the next module. Let's get to Unity and discover how we can build prefabs. So if we look at our teddy bear object, remember that we have a rigid body we've attached, and a box collider we've attached, and a talker script we've attached, and a teddy bear script we've attached, and we even edited that collider to be more tight around the boundary of the teddy bear. Now that was a lot of work to set up a teddy bear, and it may be the case that we want multiple teddy bears in our scene. So doing that work for every single teddy bear would be a real pain. The answer is prefabs. So I'm going to come over here to the project window, and I'm going to create a new folder. And I'm going to call that folder prefabs. And you will be amazed at how difficult it is to make a prefab out of this teddy bear. I drag it over and drop it into the prefabs folder. And now I have a teddy bear prefab. And we can tell that I have a prefab because it's got that little blue cube. And you can also tell that this teddy bear game object is an instance of that prefab because it has turned blue. So now I can just drag as many teddy bears as I want into my scene. And I've never shown you this before. You can just drag it right into the scene view as well. And so I'm going to add a few teddy bears into the game. And it's as easy as that. So I end up with these instances of the prefab, and you could sort of rename them if you wanted to. But now I have 4 teddy bears in my game. And so when I run my game, I get all those teddy bears bouncing around and saying ouch and so on. To recap, today we learned what prefabs are, and we learned how to build them in the Unity editor. We also learned in today's lecture how to use those prefabs to add multiple instances of those configured game objects into our scene. And in the next module, we'll learn how to dynamically add instances of those prefabs from a script to our scene when we start spawning teddy bears.